What is the most epic caught the significant other cheating and they don't know it breakup stories you know of? There was one about a man who knew that his girlfriend had cheated on him with her boss at the Christmas do. He rang a radio station knowing that she would be listening, and they played it out like it was a big romantic proposal, and it ended up as a "this is what you could have had" kinda thing. I realized it about a month before the end. He was going to late band practices and his excuses were pretty far-fetched. One excuse was, my bandmate got too drunk on Jack Daniels and I had to help take care of him with his girlfriend. Why couldn't his girlfriend just take care of him and send you home? It even went so far as having his co-worker lie to me using the exact wording he told me for a night he didn't come home. The weekend after he broke things off, he went on an all-out vacation with his ex in Dallas. Posted pictures on social media, and spent quite a bit of money. How did I know this? Probably because his bank statements were mailed to our shared home the following week. At that point, I packed all of his belongings, placed them in a corner in our living room, and waited for him to get them. In the meantime, he tried to beg to stay back in the house a couple of times and forgive him. I clearly did not let that happen. Happened to a buddy of mine. He and his ex were together for a while before they got married. Right after their honeymoon things got bad. One night some friends and I decide to go out for some wings/drinks at a newer bar the next town over when we see her walking hand in hand with another guy. One of us spot her but she doesn't see us, so we decide to observe. These two are belly up to the bar all night, only taking breaks to make out. On our way out we managed to get a picture of them kissing and send it. My buddy almost drank himself to death that night when he saw the picture, and thank God he survived. Had a female friend wake up next to her fiancé, while their female friend was fucking him. I've seen this video. She had full-blown affair with the local weatherman. He was completely torn apart by it. Had the weatherman in their bed and home. She had a child from another man that he helped raise for 6+ years, plus the kid that they had together. They tried therapy but she just lied about everything. She moved out and he got rid of the bed and worked on moving forward. I was the first person he seriously dated after that. At the beginning of our relationship he opened up about how much she hurt him. Weatherman wasn't the only one. She kept her son away from him, even though the boy calls him dad. Once we got serious she suddenly needed his help with the son every other weekend, which I was supportive of because I knew how much he loves that boy. She started manipulating and said she had a restraining order against the weatherman, which did not exist. Started calling at 10 at night to chat. In the end he still loves her and cheated on me with her. So I'm single, and last I heard they were working on it. I feel bad for the kids. She uses them as pawns to get into his head. The daughter they have together was having big behavior issues last I heard. I'm still in therapy trying to move forward. Any woman that uses a child the way she did needs some major help. She hated me without even meeting me. It'll be a vicious cycle for the whole family. My wife's last boyfriend before we met, meant to text her friend that he banged, but accidentally text the info to my wife. Thanks. I had a girlfriend for about a month after the army. She was an old high school friend and we reconnected through Facebook. I wasn't totally into her, but I was in a weird place back then mentally and I knew she was a sexual freak. So we start dating, but it's more of just an exclusive fuck buddy thing. I was preparing to move into an apartment and she wanted to move in as a roommate. I thought it wasn't that bad of an idea. I had a good government job and I could afford all the bills anyway, so worse comes to worse I have free sex and less bill expenses. I move in and she's about 2 weeks away from her lease being over when she goes across country with a friend that works summers at carnivals. Yup, she's besties with a carny girl. I start seeing weird posts on her Facebook, shit about her new best friend, which turned out to be this toothless carny. No shit, dude was like 22 and had no teeth, no dentures, just gummies. Lo and behold, she fucks up one night and her new bestie finds her phone and all our text messages about moving in and all the usual dating dialogue. He calls me in the middle of the night, threatening to kick my ass, on her phone. I calmly explained to him exactly who I was, and exactly what caliber of human Uncle Sam had crafted me into. I then explained to him, that he was the piece of shit banging my girlfriend. So the next day she got the double whammy, her new Carney boy toy, sans teeth, dumps her at the same I drop her like a J-dam. The best part? She was staying with the Carney for another week and catching up with her ride at the next stop. She got stranded in bumfuck Illinois, friendless, and no ride to the next destination for the carnival people she was getting home with. I have no idea what happened to her afterwards. I got rid of Facebook permanently afterwards. So I have a friend, we will call him Jim. Now Jim had a hippie girlfriend. She would make her own shampoo and deodorant because the toxins. Anyways, she was always a free spirit, which means though it was an open relationship when Jim had no idea she didn't want to be tied down. Jim and this girl were together for nearly 4 years when she decided to have a threesome in his car. One of the guys videotaped it and put it up on Facebook and tagged Jim in it. He never saw the video, but I did. So I told him what she did and he freaked out. The girl said she wanted an open relationship, but she never talked to Jim about it. Now the thing is, he might have never seen the video, but his family and other friends saw it. So when she said I was lying and she never cheated, just kissed the other guys. But she'll never do it again. His dad called him and told him what happened. They ended up dating for another 5 months until she left him for another guy, and currently she is in college, and Jim is happy with another girl. For years Jim would call me at all hours saying how much he missed the hippie because she would just walk into his house and sleep with him. So he ended up ruining most of his relationships with other girls. But when he finally let the hippie go, she tried to stab him with a kitchen knife. I'm still friends with Jim, but the hippie girl, she was my ex-best friend. She also slept with my ex-boyfriends as well. So she was never a good person. I would tell her the guy I had a crush on and she would fuck it. Sorry I went on a tangent, but yay. This girl is a parasite. A friend of mine found out her husband was cheating on her when she was diagnosed with chlamydia. She called him up and asked, "So, who is she?" And just kept asking that through his denials until he fessed up. She never went back. Sent someone to get her stuff and sent him divorce papers. She never told him how she found out. It really messed her up with men for a long time. April Fools of this year, my ex had my truck, and I was always super suspicious and had this gut-wrenching feeling that he had been cheating on me. I logged into his computer, and lo and behold, the evidence I needed. He left shit open and accounts logged into dating sites, video chatting, sexting, his email, Craigslist, text now, Google search history. You'll see how these are relevant. He was the biggest piece of shit ever. Still probably is. A really big homophobic as well, but I also found gay porn on his computer, along with proof that the money he stole from me was being used to buy drugs and hookers. I met this girl who is deaf and she was at a bar one night and saw her boyfriend across the way. Now he didn't realize she was there and was on a date. She ended lip reading what he was saying to the other girl. They ended up breaking up shortly after. My mom's high school sweetheart proposed to her when they were about 23. His grandma once called her after SO stopped over and said, "I couldn't see you all that well when you were in SO's truck, but your new haircut looks nice." My mom was at work and had no clue who she was talking about. She found out that he had been seeing another girl and his grandma mistook her for my mom. She kicked him out with no warning and she gave him no explanation. It's been nearly 35 years and she still never told him why she dumped him. Had a guy cheat on me, guess he got a foot job from a girl. He recorded it, then had the stupidity to save the video to my computer. I found it one day by accident. In my WTF moment, I took a screenshot and put it as the desktop background pic. He came in, went to use the computer, saw the background pic, looked at me, started collecting his shit, and left. I honestly don't remember if we even spoke that day. I'm sure he didn't expect I'd find it. Oops. There was one of a guy who had a vasectomy that he got before he met his girlfriend that she didn't know about. She got pregnant, somehow, and he gave her a ton of chances to fess up, but she doesn't. He gives her one last chance to admit she was cheating on him and then slaps her with 2 notarized negative sperm count tests and a letter from his lawyer. My coworker's mom apparently realized her husband was cheating after she saw his Harley at a bar. Apparently he loved the bike more than her and it was very custom and recognizable. Later she rammed her car into it and filed for divorce. A couple years ago my fiancé went out with some of her friends for a fun night. She didn't come home that night and wasn't answering her phone. She comes stumbling home at 7 a.m., hungover without her water bottle she always has on her. Flash forward a year or so and I grab lunch with an old female friend from high school. She told me she found out her boyfriend was cheating on her because she found this pink water bottle under her boyfriend's bed and confronted him about it. Turns out it was the same water bottle that my now ex-fiancé had. I confronted her and she kept changing her story at least 5 times. Enough was enough and I couldn't be with a lying cheater who I lost all trust for. She never fully came clean about it.